Ok, clase. For este video vamos a hablar sobre the present perfect from capítulo 7. Okay, so first off, what even is the present perfect? Well, it's used to express something that someone has or various people have done. And the present perfect tense actually functions the same in English as it does in Spanish, which will be very helpful. So how do we form it? Well, let me tell you. In English, we form the present perfect tense by combining the words have or has with the past participle of a verb. For example, here's a sentence that we would say in English. He has seen. Seen being the past participle. Have you tried? Tried being the past participle. They haven't eaten. Eaten being the past participle. So the formula that we use in English as well as in Spanish would be to use the word have or has plus the past participle of a verb. Now, what is the equivalent of have and has in Spanish, and what is the past participle? So in Spanish, the equivalent of have or has is the verb haber, H-A-B-E-R, haber. You would conjugate it just like you would with any normal verb, and this is how you do it. A, not he and not hey. Remember the H is silent. A, I have. Us, you have. Ah, he or she has. Hemos, we have. And an, they have. Again, do not pronounce the H's. So it's us, a, hemos, an. I have, you have, he or she has, we have, they have. So we have the have and the has down. So what do we need next? We need our past participle. For AR verbs, all you have to do is take off the ending, just like you would if you were to conjugate it for any tense. And you would add ado, A-D-O. Or if you're using an E or IR verb, you'll take off the ending like normal and add ido, I-D-O. Side note, the verb haber and the past participle can never be separated, meaning no word can come between the have or has and the past participle. They stick together like birds of a feather. So let's have some práctica. Let's take the verb comer, to eat, which is an ER verb, and let's conjugate this in the present perfect. So how will we say I have eaten? He comido. Again, we're going to take, coming back to the slide, what is I have? Right? In regards to the present perfect. Is I have, and then the eaten would be comido, right? The verb is comer. We take off the ER and we add ido. So what's you have eaten? Has comido. He or she has eaten. Ha comido. We have eaten. Hemos comido. And they have eaten. Han comido. So notice that comido never changes. Once you've conjugated the participle, it's never going to change. Only the verb haber changes, right? Has, a, hemos, han. That is how you can tell who the subject is talking about. But for comido, never changes. It stays the same the whole way through, which is going to be very helpful when we conjugate verbs. So let's do another one. Mirar, we're going to take the verb mirar, which means to watch or to look at. Let's say I have watched. He mirado. It's an AR verb, so we need the participle is ado, A-D-O. He mirado. Has mirado. Ha mirado. Hemos mirado. And han mirado. I have watched, you have watched, he or she has watched, we have watched, and they have watched. Again, just like the other verb we just did, notice how mirado never changes, right? It's the same all the way through. The only thing that changes is has, a, hemos, han. Okay? Now, let's look at it in a sentence. No he comido la pizza todavía. What do you think that means? I haven't eaten the pizza yet. Notice how nothing has separated a and comido. We don't see any word in between. That's because no word can come in between. No he comido. I have not eaten the pizza yet. Let's look at another one. It's a question. ¿Qué trabajos has tenido? What jobs have you had? Have you being us, had being tenido. Have you had? Okay, the last note that I want to mention is that there are certain expressions commonly used with the present perfect, and you'll see them come up in sentences when you're using the present perfect. Some of them being the word ya, which means already or yet. The phrase todavía no, which means not yet. Hasta ahora, which means until now or so far. Jamás, meaning ever or never in specific cases. And nunca, also meaning never. So these are certain expressions, only 5 of them, that are commonly used in the present perfect, and you'll see them in sentences. Okay? So let's look at one more sentence. No he comido nunca sushi. Again, nunca being a common expression used with the present perfect. I have never eaten sushi, never being nunca. No he comido nunca sushi. Again, notice a and comido are not separated by any word. They have to stick together. All right? And that is it for este video. Gracias por escucharme. And we will explain more of this in class. Adios. Ciao.